Welcome to Yeshiva Daf, Shir sponsor Lui Nishmas, I'm back with Shalom now, Basitzchok. We're holding Metzia Daf Kovches, this Daf that was given on Shabbos. We're starting with Kuzayin and Beis, in the beginning of the wide lines. The Gemara says, the second wide line in the bottom, Ma'kuz Rav Ami, Miloi Kasvei Nagdei, Betrei Avrinoro Koitzu. The way they did it those days, there was these small boats that would go in the river, and you're supposed to guide the boats with ropes by standing on two banks of the river. So, says the Rav Ami, you have to make sure that there's enough room in both sides of the river, and both banks of the river, to guide the boats. So make sure to cut trees that are growing in the two sides of the river to have enough space for the people to hold the rope. And Rashi explains, to hold the rope and tilt into the land. Rav Nosson bar Yeshaya cut shitzur amso. So Rav Nosson bar Yeshaya cut 16 amot. Not so clear if 16 amot means on each side of the bank of the river or together. Also, the people of this city, Dafnu, they hit him. Who saw like a Shusarabi? He says, you need enough room like a Shusarabi. You don't need that much. Howsome Bain and Kulahai. There you need much more room, Shusarabi. How come show Tuche Ashlein, who used only to stretch the rope? It's enough amount for the people to hold the rope and tilt to the side. Rabbi Avuno, Havalehu Abo Agudu Denoro. So Rabbi Avuno has this forest on the bank of the river. He told him to please cut it. He says, first ask the people above me in the river and below me in the river to cut, and then I'll cut. It says, how do you do that? It says the pasuk is koshu v'koshu. You first of all have to fix yourself and then fix others. First of all, take care of, say mussar to yourself before you ask some others to act correctly. So he has to set an example. Do the middle, and then people above you and below you will do it. Says Abo, the big Parzuk Rafila. This was a forest. Abba means forest over here. They belonged to the Parzuk Rafila, which was a guy, one of the Persian people. Says, if the guy is willing to cut the trees, good. If not, why should I do it? If they're able to stretch the ropes with the trees, great. If they're not able to stretch the rope, anyway, they're not able to go into that side of the river, because above me and below me will be not cut. They're going to have to go to the other side of the river. So there's no purpose of me cutting these trees if anyway it won't be beneficial. So now Rabbi Nachman walks, is riding, is sailing a boat in that river. So he sees this forest that was not cut, which belonged to Rabbi Ravuna. Amalu, the man who this belongs to, Amulei de Rabbi Ravuna. Says, look, the Rabbanim are the ones that are acting improperly. Why is he not cutting the trees? Amulu koitzu, cut the trees. Koitzu, they cut the trees. Also, Rabbi Avunu Ashkechei the kites. Because Rabbi Avunu sees that someone cut his trees. Man kaitze tikuts anfi. Someone who cuts this, his branches should be cut. So that was a klolo amir kulu shoni de Rabbi Avunu leikaim lezar de Rabbi Nachman. The klolo of Rabbi Avunu was effective. All his years, Rabbi Nachman did not have children, or his children were not able to live. And the shot is, Rabbi Nachman did not realize that Rabbi Avuna had a reason not to cut the trees. So that was the time against. Sounding more goes into something else, which seems a little bit not fitting to this, why does it fit, why is it over here? But Avida says everybody needs to join to build the gates of the city for security purposes. Even you're saying, Rabbanon not. My time Rabbanon don't need to be guarded. They're guarded. Rashi says, Turus mishamarto. It's trying to get to today. People who learn Torah, they have shmir. Lakari de patio, but to dig the pits for water, For the Rabbanon also have to dig the pits because they need water. It's only if people are not going to dig the pits on their own. They're hiring workers, just getting money. But to go and dig the pits themselves, you don't ask Rabbanon to do it. It's not proper for them to dig pits. So the Gemara says over here, Rabbanon do not help with the guarding of the city. We'll get to Bava, so we'll see also regarding taxes if they join or not. Now here there's no machlokes we're showing you. Which Rabbanon we're talking about? The Rimikash learns it's only Rabbanon who's Teruasoi Umunasoi. Someone who learns the whole time, doesn't do anything else. The Rosh learns no. It could be even someone who works, but he's working only the minimum amount he needs not to become rich. So big machlokes we're showing you. The Chasam Sofer in Shuvah says that Talmidim, Bachrim, learning Yeshiva, have a din of Teruasoi Umunasoi of Talmid Chacham, even though they're not yet Talmid Chachamim. But they're aspiring to Talmid Chachamim, and they learn the whole day, so they have also the same din. When you dig the river, meaning to make sure the river flows, the bottom ones have to have the top ones. Why? The river comes down, flows through the fields. The top field has water. It doesn't care about the bottom field. But the bottom field must have the water flow through the top field to get there. So the bottom one has to have the top. The top doesn't have to have the bottom. The opposite is water, the rainwater, which is sewer water, needs to get out of the field, get out and not overflow. That the top one wants it to go down. The bottom one doesn't care if it stays as the top. So that's the opposite. The top one needs to have the bottom doesn't have to, they need to have the top. Bryce says exactly this point. You have 5 guardians. They're all getting water from one river. Then his got ruined, the water's not coming through. They all have to help the top one. The bottom one, the 5th one in the bottom, will help all 4 on top of it. When it gets to itself, it doesn't know, nobody else helps it. You have 5 courtyards, they have water going to the sewer. Then his that ditch where the sewer goes got ruined. They all help the bottom one. Why the bottom one? Because you want the water to flow out. It says the top one needs to help all the bottom ones to allow the water to go through its chutzner down to the ditch of the bottom ones. Nobody helps the top because the bottom one don't care if the top doesn't flow because it doesn't get to their chutzner anyway. Another halacha, Amashmul. Someone who takes Raktanar, what's Raktanar? It says Rashi, we're talking about there's areas in the Persian kingdom where the king said anybody can go take this land as long as you pay taxes. So someone take the bank of the river. Why? The bank of the river was used for people to unload tzchayma. So now he's ruining for everybody else. Chatzivav is chatzuf. Selukula misakin, he can't take it away. The king says he can take it. But now that the king said anybody takes the bank of the river, takes also in the river where the horse reaches. A little bit into the river until it reaches the neck of the horse. So look at that, you have to kick it out as well. What's shot? So we have here Machlokes Rashi Tosis. Rashi learns that the reason is if someone comes, Rashi the shot is the king said anybody who owns the river, he owns also into the water of the river. So we're saying the water of the river belongs to the person who owns the field right next to the river. How he put a fence before and allowed people to use the bank of the river doesn't mean it's not his. So therefore, the person who comes and catches it, we take it away from him. It's not only not something how nice he's doing, but it belongs right to somebody else. Tosis learns the pshat is we don't want someone to hold the bank of the river because then he's going to take also the river itself. To take the bank of the river, that's chutzpah, but it's not bothering so much to rob him. But to take the river itself, that's already too much, and now we kick somebody out. Omar Yudo, Omarav, Ayman da Achzik, Beini Hachi, Beini Shutri. What's the din over here? Saying is someone who takes a field between 2 brothers, between 2 partners. Again, Rashi said talking about that the king allowed someone to take the field. And Rav Taisa says was Batasko was the same idea with the taxes. So Rashi Taisa said the same thing. But between two brothers, between two partners. Chatzifa Afu is a Chatzuf. Salukula Mislakinim. We don't kick him out. You also kick him out. But if it's not because of the brothers, Rashi says not brothers or partners. So they're not coming out the fact that the two brothers, what's the first item? Two brothers are holding in two different fields, and there's a field in the middle. So why are you coming a stranger taking? Let us take it. Then you have a takana. But if it's not because of brothers or partners, they're just saying, someone has a bar mitzvah. Now the Gemara is shifting into the sugi bar mitzvah. What's a bar mitzvah? Someone owns a field next to someone else's field, next to another field. He has the right to take that field. We'll see later. The simple understanding is why. Because when he plows his field, instead of buying two fields or separate, he wants to do one next to each other. His economy of scale, he puts it together. So bar mitzvah, you don't help. You don't kick him out. Someone takes away the field. It doesn't allow the one on the board to take it. We don't kick him out according to Rav Nachman. Because you do kick him out. So Rashi explains that Rav Nachman knows there's no din bar mitzvah. We don't kick someone for din bar mitzvah. Taisus learned that here we're not talking about that there is a full din bar mitzvah. And the reason is why, because here the king allowed him to take it. So the reason the king allowed to take it gives him a right to take it, because I don't know if I'll have another opportunity to do that. As we'll see later, din bar mitzvah is only as long as the second guy did not lose out. Says the Gemara. So says the Gemara again. The right thing is allow the one on the board to take it. Also, he comes and asks the one who's the bar mitzvah, can I go buy this field? Yeah, no problem, go buy it. Does he have to do a kinyan or not? You have to do kinyan or not. The Eagles does have to do a kinyan. So Mashal explains this based on the Rishonim. What's the din? Shaila is the Rabbanan give the right to the bar mitzvah to get the field so much. If anybody else takes the field, he's a shliach of the bar mitzvah. So therefore, he doesn't do a kinyan. He just tells him with his words, you're not my shliach anymore. So then he can go buy it. Or you don't say he's a shliach of bar mitzvah. You're saying the bar mitzvah has a right for it. So he has to do a kinyan to take away the right. So that's the machlokes over here. And now, it means he's considered to be the owner of the bar mitzvah, is considered to be the owner right now. So now that we say have to do a kinyan, meaning the bar mitzvah is considered to be the owner. If he didn't do a kinyan, Aikur v'zul b'shute zovan. So, b'shuse. If it went up in value, low in value, the bar mitzvah gets the gain or the loss, because he's considered to be the owner of this field. Let's say the person goes and buys the field for a discount, the bar mitzvah field. It's worth 200, buys for 100. Chazino. If the seller was distressed and he needs to sell the field, and is willing to sell the field for 100 to anybody, maybe Shakali comes to our mitzvah says, I'll pay you 100. Like I could have got it for 100, like you got it for 100. But if the only one who could buy it for 100 is this guy who bought it, so then my mitzvah can buy it for him for 200. He can force me to take it for 200 because that's the value in the market. This guy has a special deal, so he can take it for 100. So what happens to the guy who bought the field for 200? But it's worth only 100. Here comes the lashon. Well, you ruined it for yourself. I could have bought it for 100. You decided to buy it for 200. I have the right to take it. Why are you taking double? As we learned earlier, there's no anelka course. So, Arinoa means that there's no value. You could say, why are you increasing the value? I thought the value was like this. I bought it for more. And you can't come and tie this against me. You want to take it from me? You have to pay me what I paid for it. Now here, you have the following thing. You have a field. If someone owns a field and he has 4 neighbors next to him, comes somebody else and buys from that middle field a piece of land right in the middle of the field. He takes a little corner in the middle of the field. So now what's the problem? If there's a reason to sell the middle more than the rest, so then why? Because it's either a better field or a worse field. So it's a standalone field. So it's a good mechira. No problem with that. But meaning, why is this guy buying the middle of the field? Why is he not buying the whole thing? Because if you buy the whole thing, there's 4 neighbors or a bar mitzvah. They'll say, what do you mean you were buying it? We come first. So how is he triggering the system? He buys the middle of the field, waits a year, and then he's going to buy the rest. They can't come in a time, they're going to sit because he's going to say, I'm also a bar mitzvah. So Rabbanan realized that he's doing it as a trick. We say it's not a good sale. If the guy gets the field as a gift, it's not bar mitzvah. Says, I got it as a gift. I didn't take it away from you. I would never be able to get a gift from somebody else. It's not that I bought it, I could buy somewhere else. And here we started seeing the issue of bar mitzvah, of the time of bar mitzvah is, why do you have to buy this land that's right next to my land? Go buy a land somewhere else. Here it's a gift. What do you want me to do? If there's achrayus, it's not really a gift. A gift that has achrayus, meaning the one who's giving the gift is taking responsibility, that means not really a gift, it means it's really a sale. An owner goes and he has 10 fields at 10 different locations, and he sells all of them to one person. So now one of the fields has a bar mitzvah. He says, I want this field. I bought this as a wholesale. I bought the whole fields of this owner. If the owner sells the field to the previous owner, that's going back to its original state. There's no din in bar mitzvah. Says the Gemara, Zobon me'akum ve'zobin le'akum. Later we should din in bar mitzvah. He sells it to a goy, or he buys from a goy. There's no din in bar mitzvah. Why? If he buys from a goy, he says, what do you mean? I got the line away from you. Say thank you. I'm a better neighbor than the goy. Someone le'akum says, tu akum adai la bara asvasisa yoshev toivu. You can't go tie to the goy. He doesn't have a bar yisli yoshev toiv. So there's no tie to a goy. And here you see, as Rashi points out, the din of bar mitzvah is not a din to the seller, only to the buyer. The time is on the buyer. Why did you buy it? But the seller can sell it. You can't come and complain to the seller. We do put a chayrim, the guy who's selling the field, to a goy, until he receives all the unsin that are coming from this goy. Because you put a goy in my field, so you have to take care of it. Mashkanda means if someone takes a loan and he gives his field as collateral. The lender can take the field and the next door neighbor can't say, I own the field. So earlier, my mashkanda, why it's called mashkanto? He's a neighbor in it. The one who has the collateral has the right to take the field. Someone got an opportunity to sell a faraway field and buy this field. He has a bad field to sell. He's getting this field as a much better value. Why? Because here the buyer says, I had an opportunity here to exchange my field to something better. So you can't come and tell me not to buy it. Lekargo for taxes, lemezoyin to feed almona yisayim, velekvura to bury a mace, lesbe shudin bar mitzvah. Why? Damin ardo lekargo lemezoyin kvura is a venida b'lachas to be sold out, announcing in the market for the fair value. In other words, we do it quick, we don't wait. So here, bar mitzvah means let's give you opportunity. We don't have time to give someone else an opportunity. Li isha for woman, uli yasmin and for yisayim, uli shutfi or partners. What is being a partner? Someone, a Rashi is a partner in the field. Other Yeshayim is a partner of the sale of the field in other businesses. Later should be in bar mitzvah because a woman in Yeshayim, we're not expecting to go and look for another buy. And the shutuf has shaykhs over here. Now, says the word now. Shcheinei v'shcheinei sadeh. Shcheinei here koyim. Rashi explains this is not talking about bar mitzvah. This is a side point. If I have a choice to sell to a neighbor who lives in the city, or to a neighbor who does not live in the city, who should I give it to? Someone who lives here, was a resident comes first. So he says we still talk about bar mitzvah, but we talk about that there's two bar mitzvahs. I have one bar mitzvah who is a resident of the city. Another bar mitzvah has a field, but he doesn't live in the city. Give to the one who lives over here. Similarly, you have a shochet you have something Rashi says not a bar mitzvah. So he says they're both a bar mitzvah. The chacham goes first. We always prefer to help him out. The Korban. What happens if you have a neighbor and you have a Korban, you have a relative? A neighbor is greater than a relative. Two different types of coins. One is a better coin, one weighs better. The buyer could say, the seller preferred these coins, that's why I come first. One, the bar mitzvah gives coins, but they're all bundled in a package, and the owner doesn't want to open the package and start counting the coins, he maybe lose the coins. The other one gives open coins. So, the other buyer is giving a better benefit to the seller, and therefore he gets the rent. Says, you know what? Says the bar mitzvah, let me go get money. I'm going to work hard, I'm going to sell fields, I'm going to get something, let me get money. We don't wait for him. You have the money, good. If not, it's too late. All my Azil Ice Zuzi, if he doesn't say I'm going to go work on the Zuzi, I'm going to go get money. Let me go to the bank. Chazin, we see. If he's a rich man, those who like the Zuzi, he can really go get money. Not really, wait for him. If he learned the truth, I'm not going to wait for him. The land belongs to one, and the house belongs to somebody else. Meaning, what does it mean? You have your land, and one owns the land, one owns the house. The way Rashi learns it, the house is a rental for a certain amount of time. So the owner of the land can tell the owner of the house, you want to sell the wood, the stone, sell it to me. Because I'm here, I'm here. The one in the house cannot tell the owner of the land, don't sell the land to anybody else but me. Because you're here only temporarily. Similarly, one owns the land, one owns the tree, and the tree is only a temporary hold. The owner of the land tells the owner of the tree, you want to sell it, you want to break it, give it to me because I'm the owner of the land. Because you're here only temporarily, you can't commit titles. One wants to get the land to build it in houses. And the bar mitzvah wants to take the land for the field. Yishuv Odif. We prefer houses. So, the lays we should need bar mitzvah, you don't have bar mitzvah. You have a land, and next to the land there's a neighbor, but between them there's a big rock. Or that's called Mishuniso. Or there's trees, there's palm trees, they're all bundled together, and then they're a hefsek, they're a break between the field that's being sold and the neighbor. Chazina. If you can do even one plow with the plower, in other words, you can plow it together, there's even one row that you can do, either should be in the bar mitzvah. Then there's a din of bar mitzvah. If you learn later should din of bar mitzvah, there's no din of bar mitzvah. What does it mean? Meaning the idea of plowing the fields is that two fields together. The neighbor says, give me the field next door. Because it's much easier for me to plow the field in one shot. So if you have that benefit of plowing a little more into it, even one row, he has a timer. But if there's a big rock that stops the plowing, so you're not really having any benefit of having the two fields together, there's no din of bar mitzvah. We'll get back to it in one moment. Just finish the Gemara over here. You have 4 bnei matzri. You have one field, you have 4 neighbors. One came water first, zvin is zvin. In other words, whoever comes first gets it. First come, first serve. The kula also that all 4 come together. Palgulei bekarnazil. So then you divide bekarnazil. If you look at the picture in Rashi, it means you split the field, make a triangle, make 4 triangles in the field, make an X, and each field gets his triangle, which is next to him. So each one gets his Metzia, his field, his neighboring field gets a quarter of the field. The quarter that's closest to him goes to him, and that's how you divide it between the 4. Now, Taisus here says, you see from the Gemara going plowing, that the only time I said din of bar mitzvah is only by fields. They're meant to plow, not by houses. Someone owns a house, it doesn't want the house next door, there's no din of bar mitzvah. We saw we're going plowing. A little hard, according to Toys, to explain what is the more saying before. If the other one wants to buy it for houses, and the other one wants to buy it for a field, you sell the one who buys it for the house. You have to say the pshat is that the only time of bar mitzvah is only for plowing. But if the person wants to buy not to plow, but to build a house, so the other one has a time against the bar mitzvah. But the Rishonim bring that the minigorim is not like that. Minigorim is you do bar mitzvah even when someone owns a house next door to another house. And that's what we have today. Many dinei Torah are happening because someone has a house, someone comes off market, buys a house. Has 1 second, I'm a bar mitzvah. I come first. You have to give me the right to buy it for the same amount, if I can do it for the same amount, and do it immediately, then I have a din of bar mitzvah. And there's really a sugi bar mitzvah, which is interesting, that comes in here in the middle of Metzia. Why does it belong over here? But it's brought down this sugya, the halachas of bar mitzvah, and a lot to expand upon that. Okay, we'll stop over here. Continue Be'ez Hashem for the Mishnah in the next half.